may have heard of smart cities. They use mind-boggling technology to control and optimize everything from energy supply to waste. This is Mazda City in Abu Dhabi, one of about 30 smart cities which is currently under construction around the world. Zero carbon, zero cars in this case, lots and lots of solar power. And rightly, there's a buzz about smart cities. But what about smart citizens, you and I? I believe that there's an equally powerful use of technology in helping us become both smarter users of cities and better partners in their design. So I want to talk to you a bit about how I think this might work today, but I need your help because although I know a few things about digital media, cities aren't my area of expertise. But I am fascinated by them. Exhale carbon they might, but I think cities exude potential in equal measure. Their concentration of people and vibrant ideas are potent resources. And I want to know whether social media could be more effective in helping to share and amplify these ideas, as it's done elsewhere. The Arab Spring, where a deluge of Twitter and Facebook posts helped create a critical mass of opinion and action. But in less dramatic circumstances, over half of us now use social media regularly to share ideas. And sometimes in doing so, we leave trails of information which tell stories about how we respond to our environments. Eric Fisher crafts stellar-like maps from this information. In this Twitter map of London, the blue dots represent Londoners, people who've previously uploaded images of London, and the red dots are tourists, people who've previously uploaded images from elsewhere. And we can infer a lot more, and I've got a short video if you could possibly play it for me. This is a Twitter mood cartogram. And in its construction, the emotional words from over 300 million tweets were analysed and assigned a colour from green, happy, to red, less happy. The cartogram distorts the state so you can see the relative number of tweets being sent from different places. And as it plays through the day, you'll see some illuminating trends appearing. Relatively speaking, more grumpy East Coast compared with the buoyant West Coast. And you can't actually see it here, but at 2 p.m., there's a kind of Pan-American slump where everybody's miserable. Not a good time to ask a favor of anybody. So combined with its power as a participated communications medium, I think this ability to distill stories from social media make it extremely interesting for urban planning. But what about when designers and users of design actively collaborate? Well, of the rich history of such projects, I've picked one which is an urban development by architects called West 8 in Amsterdam. They use standard building units, which they then customize in collaboration with residents to produce these wonderfully diverse waterfronts that you see and individual living spaces. But actually, I think some of the best examples of co-created design are outside of the built environment. The software movement has pioneered both crowdsourcing and user-centered design, which others are now beginning to embrace. Even the US military and its special projects agency called DARPA, which incidentally had a hand in creating the internet, is now crowdsourcing its military vehicles. This is a crowdsourced prototype for a military vehicle. So these examples, and many more that I haven't had time to share, have told me that users, citizens, and designers do collaborate on local projects. But as the Dutch architect Rem Koolhaas has suggested, we haven't yet found a plausible, by which I take, kind of scalable and sustainable relationship. But digital media, I think, does present an option for creating a space where this relationship could flourish. And so the idea I want to share, I hope, addresses these points. It's an open source, community-owned platform where citizens and designers can work together. I'm calling it Open City Labs, partly inspired by Living Labs, which we pioneered at MIT and elsewhere. And it has three major components or ideas behind it, I suppose. The first is a compelling user experience, drawing heavily on gaming, virtual worlds like SimCity and Second Life. But although playful, it's not a game, but rather it's a 3D simulation of a real city where ideas can be tested and iterated. And secondly, real data about the city, presented in a way that everybody can understand and interpret, drawn from surveys, from social media, as we've seen, and from other data feeds like this one that you see, this London dashboard created by the clever people at UCL. And thirdly, and possibly most importantly, an unerring focus on how, where, and when citizens, users want to interact and participate. So imagine, if you will, a city centre planning project, data maps similar to those ones that we've seen, telling stories about the space, perhaps showing energy use, emotions, movement, are distributed widely and entice citizens into a 3D model of the city, where they can post their comments or ideas as if on a virtual 3D pinboard. Designers then insert 3D sketches, and citizens can live with these sketches as part of this simulation. And then through a process of testing and iteration, they arrive together at a co-created plan. Does it sound far-fetched? Well, it really shouldn't be, because all the components already exist. And I think something like this could be a catalyst which could help co-created urban design become more common and perhaps even viral. Smart cities are state-of-the-art, and I think we should now also be focusing on smart citizens at the centre of our city thinking, and in doing so, moving towards more delightful, more sustainable, and ultimately, more democratic places to live. So if this kind of idea was to work, it would need a broad collaboration. It would need the best minds in digital architecture, urban planning, engineering, gaming, to name but a few. I'd love to hear from you at opencitylabs.net. As I said, I need your help. Thank you very much.